Welcome back to the Cosmic Awakening podcast. I am Makāula Nakae, a lifelong experiencer and ET contactee since 1990. I have a wealth of insights and stories to share from decades of lived experiences spanning spiritual, interdimensional, and extraterrestrial contacts. Cosmic Awakening Part 3, 2014's The First Contact, Beyond C5. Chapter 3, First Contact. Episode 16, Contact on June 30th. Since I arrived in Seattle, there has been a significant increase in UFO sightings and contacts, prompting me to observe the sky while sitting on a bench on the condo's lanai. From this vantage point, I could simultaneously enjoy views of downtown, the Space Needle, Puget Sound, and the Olympic Mountains. This routine of sky watching became ingrained, and on June 29, 2013, I witnessed UFOs twice from the lanai, once in the morning and again at 3 p.m. In the morning, as I gazed at the landscape below, I noticed a peculiar cloud formation resembling an airplane cloud, thin and linear. However, upon closer observation, I discerned two white spheres at the leading edge of the cloud, moving slower than the typical aircraft speed. They traversed eastward from Puget Sound over the Space Needle and Capitol Hill. As they approached the sky over the condo, I rushed to the front door for a better view, where I watched them continue eastward. After witnessing these mysterious clouds formed by UFOs, I observed that the long, thin airplane clouds left behind took on a spiral shape, indicating gradual collapse over time. The beginning and end of the cloud were not at one point, but at 2 points, resembling the unraveling of twisted strings into two branches. Anticipating another sighting, I periodically returned to the lanai and was rewarded when a UFO appeared over Puget Sound around 3 p.m. The UFO had a gun-black body color, an egg-shaped shape, and an organic-looking surface. As it ascended, it transitioned from gray to shiny white, resembling a tiny, pure white sphere at a much higher altitude than a standard helicopter. I captured footage on my digital camera, witnessing two inexplicable aircraft clouds afterward. Though too distant to confirm the presence of a white sphere, I was certain that these formations were not typical jet planes. On this particular day, a free simultaneous remote healing session was scheduled for the end of the month, with the first session at 11 p.m. Seattle time and the second at 2 a.m. Before and between these sessions, I ventured out to the lanai to gaze at the night sky, although nothing unusual caught my attention at those times. However, it was after the second remote healing session that an unexpected encounter occurred. Shortly before 3 a.m., as the remote healing concluded, I retired to my guest room and settled into bed, as I typically did, wearing earplugs. Suddenly, I awoke with a start, a departure from my usual groggy state upon waking. To my surprise, an unseen presence pressed simultaneously on both my middle toes, jolting me awake. My entire body tingled with a sensation akin to invisible particles swirling around and dissipating, as I calmed myself and closed my eyes. A series of vivid images unfolded behind my eyelids. The initial images showcased various UFOs, each with distinct shapes and sizes. One particularly memorable UFO resembled a 3-deer cake. These images continued to rotate, with different UFO types arranged in a grid-like pattern, conveying that extraterrestrial spacecraft come in diverse forms. Subsequently, I beheld an unfamiliar natural landscape, reminiscent of a 3D movie, featuring peculiar plants and sizable flowers. Within this landscape, I observed a 4-legged animal resembling Earth's jaguar, albeit with a more elongated body. Despite my efforts to retain consciousness and continue observing, I gradually succumbed to drowsiness, causing the images to fade. Even as the visions waned, the contact persisted. An unseen presence accurately stimulated the acupuncture points along the meridians inside my right leg, indicating blocked energy pathways. Though fewer in number than in previous instances, these presses served as a clear directive to unblock these points, which is crucial for communication. Upon returning to full consciousness, I noticed a faint glow permeating the room, signaling the approach of dawn. Despite the bedroom blinds blocking most outside light, a subtle brightness seeped through, indicating the early morning hours, likely around 4:30 a.m., a reminder of Seattle's early summer sunrises. A few days later, in the early hours of July 3rd, a familiar image unfolded behind my closed eyelids as I slept, rousing me from slumber. Though I only retained fragments of the vision, one striking image stood out: an extraterrestrial figure reminiscent of Chewbacca from Star Wars. This alien-like being boasted long brown and blonde hair covering its entire body, with eyes shimmering in a shade akin to gold. Interestingly, this depiction evoked thoughts of Bigfoot, a legendary creature reported in various regions of Washington state. Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, is a cryptid often described as resembling an ape-man. It purportedly stands 2 to 3 meters tall and weighs around 230 kilograms, with dark brown or red fur. Native American folklore and modern sightings suggest its presence in the forests of the Pacific Northwest, fueling a blend of cultural fascination and skepticism. While photographs, videos, and numerous eyewitness accounts contribute to its lore, the quest for tangible evidence persists through dedicated research organizations and media coverage. While the parallels between the Chewbacca-like figure and Bigfoot intrigued me, delving deep into the pursuit of such cryptids didn't quite captivate my attention. My experiences have taught me that if extraterrestrial beings are elusive entities, like Bigfoot desire communication, they initiate contact swiftly, holding the proverbial key to interaction. Thus, while I remained open to encounters and continued my UFO observations, I refrained from actively probing into realms beyond my immediate experiences, trusting that any meaningful interaction would unfold naturally. On July 4th, the vibrant festivities of America's National Day illuminated the streets, with celebrations echoing across the city. I joined a lively party at a condo atop Capitol Hill, where the air was filled with the savory aroma of sandwiches, ribs, hot dogs, and the sweet allure of fruit and cake. As twilight descended, I ventured onto the lanai, greeted by a panoramic view of the city below, adorned with revelers spilling onto rooftop gatherings. Against a clear evening sky, the sunset casting a warm glow over the Queen Anne Hills added to the enchantment. As darkness descended, the anticipation mounted for the fireworks spectacle at Lake Union, commencing at 10 p.m. and painting the night sky with bursts of color until 10:20 p.m. Aware of the penchant for UFO sightings during such events, reminiscent of the New Year's fireworks in Waikiki, I scanned the heavens eagerly. However, the bustling airspace, dotted with planes and helicopters, obscured any signs of extraterrestrial presence. Amidst the post-fireworks cleanup, seated once more on the lanai and gazing towards downtown and West Seattle, I was seized by an uncommon sight: a solitary red light materializing above the buildings. Unlike conventional aircraft with flashing lights, this was a steady crimson glow reminiscent of past UFO encounters. With bated breath, I tracked its trajectory as it glided closer to downtown, only to veer skyward, vanishing from sight abruptly. The sighting left me pondering, was it indeed a UFO? My previous experiences suggested that such sightings often occurred in pairs and true to form. Another red light emerged moments later, following a similar path toward downtown. Yet, as it neared its destination, the light gradually dimmed, fading into the night sky with an eerie sense of dissolution. The enigmatic display awakened me, contemplating the mysteries that lingered beyond our comprehension. That night, circumstances led me to sleep on the living room sofa after midnight due to a guest's presence. The unfamiliar surface made it challenging to drift into slumber, and despite my body's yearning for rest, my mind remained alert, resisting sleep's embrace. After much effort, I finally succumbed to sleep around an hour later. Suddenly, in the early hours of the morning, around 3 a.m., I awoke, engulfed in an unusual heat that seemed to emanate solely from my back. It felt akin to the warmth emitted by a powerful heater, focusing exclusively on my spine, from sacrum to neck. Puzzled by this sensation, I attempted to adjust my position on the couch, yet the intense heat persisted, confined to my spinal column. Curiosity compelled me to check the room's temperature, only to find it unremarkably average, if not slightly cool. Recalling recent experiences, I couldn't help but link this sensation to the breakthroughs I'd been experiencing since the morning of July 4th, a sense of heightened energy coursing through my spine, accompanied by unusual burping and vocalizations. It felt as though clearing my Sushumna tube, a central channel in yogic philosophy, was nearing completion. This particular night, however, the heat felt more concentrated, as if the core of my being, aligned with the spine's central axis, was undergoing an intense activation. Intrigued by these developments, I close my eyelids, anticipating further insights. Behind my closed eyes, vivid hues of violet and flashing emerald lights dance before me, a phenomenon I occasionally experience during meditative states. Drifting back into slumber amidst this ethereal display, I awoke at sunrise, still feeling the remnants of the intense back heat. Even as I rose to greet the morning, the potent sensations lingered, a testament to the profound experiences of the night. To be continued. Watch the cinematic video trailer. Explore the archive. Cosmic Awakening Part 1, 1991. Peru, Journey into the Unknown Sacred Valley of the Incas. Part 2, Ascension 2012, The Golden Alchemy. Part 3, The First Contact. The World of ET Contacts, Beyond C5. Join the journey. New episodes drop periodically. Each chapter delivers a tight, hyper-focused 10 to 30-minute hit of real-life experiences, perfect for your daily plunge into consciousness exploration. Subscribe to support your inner development. Thumbs up to help push our channel through the algorithm. Comment below. Share your thoughts on today's exploration.